to solve user problems by applying machine learning and AI. Let me give you an example. Recently, I visited Lagos, Nigeria. It's a city of 21 million people. It's an incredibly dynamic, vibrant, and ever-growing city. Many people are coming online for the first time. So it's very exciting, unless you happen to be in the Google Maps team and you have to map the city. And it is changing so fast. It's normally we map a place by using Street View. It's an incredibly dynamic, vibrant, it's difficult to do that in a place like Lagos. Many people are coming online for the first time. The city is changing, so you can't always see the signage clearly, and there are variable address conventions, unless you happen to be in the Google Maps team. So for example, take that house there. If you squint hard, you can see the street number there. It is changing so fast. It is number 3 to the left. Normally, we map a place, but that was relatively easy. Onto harder using Street View. It's an incredibly dynamic, vibrant. It's difficult to do that in a place like Lagos. It's probably pretty hard. Maybe 1 or 2 of you can spot it out. But our computer vision systems, thanks to machine learning, can pick it online for the first time. Identify the street number. The city is changing and start mapping. You can't always see the signage clearly. So we approach very exciting differently. Unless you have machine learning Google Maps. For example, take that just in 5 months, if you squint hard and see the street number, 5,000 kilometers, number 3, to the city of 50,000 new addresses. That was relatively 100,000 business. Onto something we're using the real difference for millions of users there, as Google Maps is popular. And we think this approach is broadly applicable. Let's come closer to home. Parking in San Francisco. I don't even try it anymore, but for those of you who try it, we again use machine learning. We understand location data. We try to understand patterns, our cars circling around, and the color shows the density of parking, and we can analyze it throughout the day and predict parking difficulty, and in Google Maps, give you options. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case for which we are using machine learning to make a difference. The best example I can think of, what we've talked before, is Google Translation. I literally remember many years ago adding translation in Chrome and making it automatic so that if you land in a page different from your language, we do that for you. Fast forward to today, with the power of machine learning and our neural machine translation, we serve over 2 billion translations in many, many languages every single day. To me, shows the power of staying at a problem, constantly using computer science to make it better, and seeing users respond to it at scale. This is why we are excited about the shift from a mobile-first to an AI-first world. It is not just about applying machine learning in our products, but it's radically rethinking how computing should work. At a higher level, in an AI-first world, I believe computers should adapt to how people live their lives, rather than people having to adapt to computers. And so we think about 4 core attributes as part of this experience. First, people should be able to interact with computing in a natural and seamless way. Mobile took us a step in this direction with multi-touch, but increasingly, it needs to be conversational, sensory. We need to be able to use our voice, gestures, and vision to make the experience much more seamless. Second, it is going to be ambient. Computing is going to evolve beyond the phone, be there in many screens, around you when you need it, working for you. Third, we think it needs to be thoughtfully contextual. Mobile gave us limited context. With identity, your location, we were able to improve the experience significantly. In an AI-first world, we can have a lot more context and apply it thoughtfully. For example, if you're into fitness and you land in a new city, we can suggest running routes, maybe gyms nearby, and healthy eating options. And in my case, being a vegetarian and having a weakness for desserts, maybe suggest the right restaurants for me. Finally, and probably the most important of it all, computing needs to learn and adapt constantly over time. It just doesn't work that way today. In mobile, developers write software and constantly ship updates. But let me give a small example. I use Google Calendar all the time. On Sundays, I try to get a weekly view of how my week looks like. But once the work week starts, say on a Monday or a Tuesday, I'm trying to get a view into what the next few hours looks like. I have to constantly toggle back and forth. Google Calendar should automatically understand my context and show me the right view. It's a very simple example, but software needs to fundamentally change how it works. It needs to learn and adapt. And that applies to important things like security and privacy as well. Today, a lot of us deal with security and privacy by putting the onus back on users. We give them many settings and toggles to improve those. But in an AI-first world, we can learn and adapt and do it thoughtfully for our users. For example, if it's a notification for your doctor's appointment, we need to treat it sensitively and differently than just telling you when you need to start driving to work. So we're really excited by this shift, and that's why we are here today. We've been working on software and hardware together because that's the best way to drive the shifts in computing forward. But we think we are at a unique moment in time where we can bring a combination of AI and software and hardware to bring a different perspective to solving problems for users. And we are very confident about our approach here because we are at the forefront of driving the shifts with AI. 3 months ago at Google I/O, our Google AI teams announced a new approach called AutoML. AutoML is just our machines automatically generating machine learning models. Today, these are handcrafted by machine learning scientists. And literally, only a few thousands of scientists around the world can do this. Design the number of layers, weight and connect the neurons appropriately. It's very hard to do. We want to democratize this. We want to bring this to more people. We want to enable hundreds of thousands of developers to be able to do it. So we've been working on this technology called AutoML. And just in the past month, for a standard task like image classification, understanding images, our AutoML models are now not only more accurate than the best human-generated models, but they are more resource efficient. So it's pretty amazing to see. We are now taking it a step further. Let me talk about another use case, object detection. When we say object detection, just a fancy name for computers trying to delineate and understand images, being able to draw bounding boxes and distinguish between all the vehicles there. Our AutoML models are now, and even pick out the bike in front. It has a lot of practical uses. The Street View example for Legos works based on object detection. Google Lens, which you'll hear about later, as well as our photography in Pixel, uses object detection. This is really hard to do. The best human-generated models we have only have a 39% accuracy. But our AutoML models, as of the past couple of weeks, have reached around 43% accuracy. They're constantly getting better. So the rate at which we are seeing progress with AI is amazing, which is why we are really excited about combining it with our software and hardware to bring it together for our users. Let me give you a concrete example. I was recently very inspired by this tweet from a journalist who was attending the Little League World Series. As you can see, there are 2 Little Leaguers here, one from Dominican Republic and the other from South Dakota, and they're talking to each other using Google Translate. It's a great example, but I looked at it and I feel like we could do a whole lot better. Computing needs to evolve where this happens in a more natural, seamless, and a conversational way. And later today, you'll get an early glimpse of how we can push this experience further by thinking about AI, software, and hardware together. I couldn't be more excited by the direction our hardware team is taking and approaching their work here. So to give you a lot more insights, let me welcome Rick onto the stage. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I want to welcome everyone here today, Google fans, the media. In the front row, we have some of our top sales reps from Verizon and other partners. It's great to have you all here. Yes. Welcome, welcome. We've got a lot to show you today, including a few surprises. So I thought I would quickly set the scene and explain what we've been working toward and just how it ties into the vision that Sundar outlined. A year ago, we stood on a slightly smaller stage and introduced the world to Google Pixel, Home, and Wi-Fi, Chromecast Ultra, and Daydream View. This is the first generation of hardware made by Google. So much has happened since then, and we've made tremendous progress in our first year. For starters, our team is getting a lot bigger. We're bringing on 2,000 very talented engineers from HTC, along with some important IP. It's an amazing team that's created a series of industry-first innovations. And by working more closely together, we'll be able to better integrate Google hardware and software. And our products have built up a lot of momentum going into our second year. Let's take a look.
Okay, Google.
Okay, Google.
Okay, Google.
Okay, Google, play the soundtrack to Spaghetti for Pepe.
Google set to hold a product event in San Francisco.
There are a ton of new announcements.
Google is showing off new hardware.
Das Pixel XL und das Pixel.
It's called Google Home, the new way to make your home a little bit smarter.
Google debuted a new virtual reality headset.
Get the Daydream View.
I actually feel like I'm there.
It's sick as hell, I can tell you that much.
The Google Pixel.
Pixel is my new favorite camera.
Okay, Google, take a selfie.
Oh, that camera. Pictures that come out of this thing are incredible.
Google's new Chromecast Ultra.
4 stars and editor's choice.
Okay, Google, show me a video of a kangaroo.
What? The camera is phenomenal.
The best ever in a smartphone.
Beautiful.
Tops in my book. There, I said it.
My mom now can save every picture. Unlimited space.
Mama got a new toy.
It can recognize each voice.
Ooh. Enter Google Assistant.
She's so smart.
She's just amazing.
Let me see what else my Google Assistant can do.
Hey Google, call Carrie.
Ok Google, joue-moi du beatbox.
What is a dog?
That's your question, what is a dog?
I don't want to blow your mind with my high-tech talk.
It is amazing what it can do.
I think we've got a winner.
It's gonna be sick.
How cool is that?
Yes, Google.
That is amazing.
Okay, Google, what's next?
We're still in the early days of our hardware line, but we're off to a great start. We're thrilled to announce that there are now 55 million Chromecast devices around the world. Google Wi-Fi is the #1 selling mesh router since its launch in the US and Canada. And in the last 12 months alone, the Assistant has gotten a lot smarter thanks to Google. We've added more than 100 million new, unique featured snippets from the web, video results from YouTube, and new local places in Google Maps, and a lot more. And Pixel had a great year. I just wish we had a few more of them to go around, but user satisfaction among Pixel owners is among the highest of any Google product ever. Industry analysts and the media gave Pixel rave reviews too. Our performance scores led the industry, and Pixel had the best and top-rated smartphone camera. We're really proud of how well the Pixel did for our first-generation smartphone in such a competitive space. Well, you all know this better than anyone, but the playing field for hardware components is leveling off. And I don't envy those of you who have to write reviews for a bunch of smartphones with very similar specs. Megapixels in the camera, processor speed, modem throughput, battery life, display quality. These core features are table stakes now. Moore's law and Dennard scaling are ideas from the past. To be honest, it's going to be tougher and tougher for people to develop new, exciting products each year, because that's no longer the timetable for big leaps forward in hardware alone. And that's why we're taking a very different approach at Google. As I said last year, the next big innovation will happen at the intersection of AI, software, and hardware. Smartphones might be reaching parity on their specs, but as we just heard from Sundar, we're seeing huge breakthroughs in the kinds of experiences we're able to deliver to users. And it all starts with reimagining hardware from the inside out. AI and machine learning have helped us to do this across our products. For one, Pixel completely revolutionized the end-to-end photo experience for users and removes all of the hassles. Machine learning works throughout the experience to make your Pixel photos more vibrant, to smooth out your videos, and to make all those thousands of memories easy to find on any of your devices. We did the same thing with home networks. Google Wi-Fi uses machine learning not only to keep your signal strong, but to reduce Wi-Fi congestion. While you're moving throughout the house, your router is intelligently transitioning your devices to the best Wi-Fi point and placing you on the right channel. When you're using the Assistant on Google Home, you'll notice it can pick up your voice even in a noisy room. Our deep learning capabilities and neural beamforming help Google Home locate the source of sound and hear you accurately. So we can do with just 2 microphones what others normally need 6 or 8 to do. And this is what it means to design hardware from the inside out. It's this combination of AI, software, and hardware working together that provides a helpful experience for our users. And that's where the big leaps forward are going to happen in the next 10 years. We're still in the early days for our hardware line, but we know what it takes to build great products in a crowded field. We weren't first with many of our most successful products: Gmail, Chrome, Android, and even search. But in each case, we succeeded by doing what we're best at, reimagining the experience to make it radically helpful for the user. And as you'll hear today, our next generation of devices is radically helpful too. They're fast, they're there when you need them, they're simple to use, and they anticipate your needs. Everything is designed for you to keep the tech in the background and out of your way. Interact with your devices naturally through your voice or by touching them. And by building hardware around our AI and software, we're creating products that get even better over time. They're constantly getting faster and more helpful the more you interact with them, thanks to machine learning. As a family, Made by Google products represent the ultimate Google experience. Today, we're going to show you how we're creating a family of products that are there when you need them, at work, at school, and on the go. But we're going to start with the most important place, your home. So let's hear next from Rishi Chandra, who leads our home team. Over to you, Rishi.
Thank you, Rick. It's been a really exciting year for us. Google Home was the first product to bring the Google Assistant to the home. And we've been constantly learning from our users so that we can make the Assistant radically helpful for you. For example, as Rick mentioned, in the last year, we can answer over 100 million new questions. And the best part is, you don't have to talk like a computer or teach Google Home any new skills. It just works. Now, we're really happy with the positive feedback thus far, but we know this is a journey. So we've been working hard to bring Google Home to more people and more countries. This year, we launched in 5 new countries, and we're happy to announce that we'll be launching in Japan later this week. Now, bringing the Assistant to people all around the world is no easy task. We had to make sure we could understand people of different age groups, genders, and accents. So we trained the Assistant at a scale that only Google could, with over 50 million voice samples from hundreds of different ambient environments. We've been investing in voice search for over a decade, which is why we have the best voice recognition in the world. Now, earlier this year, we had a major breakthrough with the ability to recognize your voice. We call it Voice Match. With your permission, we built a model of your voice by looking at dozens of different voice characteristics, like vocal construct, pitch, and tone. This is a really big deal. Google Home is great for the whole family, But it doesn't mean I want to get the same answer to every question. An assistant can only be truly useful if it knows who you are. And with Voice Match, we're the only assistant that can bring personal help to each individual member of your household. So when you ask a question, we match your voice, and we respond with your calendar, your commute, and your personal reminders. Now, Voice Match has already become one of the most popular features on Google Home today. Over half of all queries are from people who've trained the assistant to recognize their voice. And starting today, we're rolling out Voice Match to all 7 countries Google Home will be available. Now, another popular feature is hands-free calling. You can use your Google Home to call any landline or mobile number in the US or Canada for free, without any additional apps or accessories. It just works. And I'm happy to announce that we'll be bringing hands-free calling to the UK later this year. And starting today, you can call out with your own personal mobile number. So whoever you're calling will know it's you. You just need to verify your number through the Google Home app. And of course, with Voice Match, we can recognize your voice to make sure we call your contact with your personal number. Now, hands-free calling also has the intelligence of Google built right in. Just say, hey, Google, call the bakery on 24th Street.
Okay, calling Noe Valley Bakery.
We do the hard work to figure out which business you want to call, thanks to Google's deep expertise in local search. Making a call has never been easier. Now, we have a lot of great news to share with you today. So to kick things off, I'd like to welcome Isabel, lead designer for home hardware.
Thank you, Rishi. I'm thrilled to share with you how we think design is redefining technology in the home. You heard Rick mention earlier today that everything in our hardware line is designed to fit into your life. The home is a special, intimate place, and people are very selective about what they welcome into it. You don't want to fill it with black plastic, complicated buttons, and random blinking lights. Our vision is to build simple, helpful solutions that work in the background, helping you when you need it and staying out of the way when you don't. So here's what that means to us. We design for the spaces our products live in, and we take inspiration from the materials and colors that people already use to make their home more warm and inviting. Second, when designing for real homes, form and size really matters for creating something that actually fits into any room or on any surface. And lastly, the way you interact with our products has to be so intuitive you never even have to think about it, and so simple that the entire household can use it. With that, we are introducing Mini, the newest member of the Google Home family. The first thing you might notice is the striking simplicity of the design. It's sleek and smooth with no corners or edges. And it's small enough to be placed in anywhere in your home. It makes Google Home more accessible to more people in more rooms. And as you can see, almost the entire enclosure is made out of fabric. And it's not just about aesthetics. It's core to the product experience. That is why we created this material from scratch, right down to the yarn. It needed to be durable and soft, but also transparent enough to let through both light and sound. This perfect balance allows for all of Mini's technology to be thoughtfully tucked away underneath the clean, simple enclosure. So the 4 LED lights under the fabric are there when you need them, lighting up to show you that it hears you or it's thinking. And you can control it by touch. Give the fabric a quick tap to pause your music, adjust the volume, or talk to your assistant. We thought a lot about how to get great sound with such a small product, too. We embraced Mini's circular shape to project 360-degree sound, so it's really crisp no matter where you stand in the room. You'll be surprised how amazing the quality is. And if you want bigger sound, you can easily connect Mini to any Chromecast built-in speaker wirelessly. We created Mini in 3 beautiful colors: coral, chalk, and charcoal. Color really matters in the home. This is the place where we choose our drapes and carpets and paint colors with so much care. We brought that same level of care for Minnie. For the chalk color alone, it took us 157 tries before we found the perfect shade of gray. So that's Google Home Mini, with all the power of the Google Assistant. You can make it your sous chef in the kitchen, your white noise machine in the nursery, your voice remote for your TV in the living room, or your alarm clock in the bedroom.
Événement Google 4 octobre streaming en direct.
$49 in the US.
Evento do Google 4 de outubro ao vivo ao vivo.
And it's going to be available for pre-order online starting today, and in stores starting October 19th from major retailers. We're also really happy to announce that Mini is coming to all 7 Google Home countries. So with that, let's take a look at this ad that will launch later this week.
What's this little thing? Well, it's Google Home Mini. You put it in your house and control it with your voice. Hey Google, play my fun playlist.
Okay, playing now.
It's also a remote control, an alarm clock, and a sous chef.
Let it cool for 10 minutes.
It can play you this on TV or that on the internet. It can tell you the weather or if your flight's delayed because of the weather. And it knows the difference between you and your husband.
Hey.
So if you go, hey Google, call Alex, it won't call your husband's friend Alex. It'll call your friend Alex.
Calling Alex.
Hey, how are you? Okay, gotta go, girl. Anyway, it's made by the same people who help you find stuff on the internet. So you know, no biggie. It's smaller than a donut and weighs less than a full-grown chipmunk, without the nuts. It's powered by the Google Assistant, so it has Google Maps, Google Calendar, it gets you to all your music, lots of your favorite shows, all of YouTube, and lots of other stuff you love. All for less than $50. Yeah, it's Google Home Mini. A little help at home, like only Google can.
Thanks, Isabel. We can't wait for you to try out Mini. We also want to share how the Google Assistant continues to get better over time. From the start, we've been helping people with their everyday routines. For example, one of my favorite features is My Day, which gives me a personalized briefing of my important events of the day. And with Voice Match, each member of the house can get their own unique start to their morning routine. Well, soon we're going to be extending routines in 2 important ways. First, we're adding more routines to help you with those everyday moments, like getting ready